The Chaos Knights are finally here, and in this deep dive Codex review, we're going to be taking a fresh look at this faction. From the perspective of myself and Jordan, we dive deep into all the different detachments, those data sheets, as if we were going to start playing these factions for the very first time. Sit back, enjoy, and let's go through this epic Codex.
It's time to take a look at the Chaos Knights Codex. Stephen, we've got a brand new way to play Chaos Knights.
Yep.
Loads of changes, sweeping changes, in fact, to data sheets, to the army rule, and we've got new detachments, 4 in the book. So we've got 4 detachments to go through. What is your knowledge like of Chaos Knights? I know neither of us have played them. We've played against them, but not played them, right?
Yeah, so I've typically always been more of an Imperial Knight player in the past, and I'm really looking forward to diving in deep to this to see what we can do. And of course, we're going to have a How to Play Masterclass series on this Codex as well, and that will be released in due course. But from this very initial onset, we're going to be giving you our opinions of what it's going to be like if we were to pick up this faction for the first time, using some of the knowledge that we have across, multiple years of playing against Chaos Knights. So hopefully, if you are a Chaos Knight player at home, please let us know what you think to the Codex, some of the rules interactions, or if you spot some really cool combos, help out the community. That's the best way for these videos to really be the most valuable resource that they possibly can be.
Absolutely.
So we'll kick off first of all with the army rule, and then what I suggest we do, we take a look at the data sheets, because that's really where the power of normally knights are, is in the data sheets. And then we'll flip it back, we'll look at some of the detachments, breaking down the rules, the enhancements, and some of the cool stratagems.
And it will help us inform decisions on maybe enhancements and things as well when we're going through and actually taking a look at the Codex.
Yeah, exactly that. So we're going to crack on first of all with the army rule. It's called Harbingers of Dread. Now, this had a pretty big change from what I'm used to playing against with the Index. So if your army's Chaos Knights, then you gain what's called the Dread abilities, okay? Now, the Dread abilities, you always start with 1 Dread ability for your whole army, and it's called Deathly Terror, and this is an aura. While an enemy unit is within 9 of the model, worsen the leadership characteristic by 1. So, not amazing. However, that's what your blanket Dread ability is. Then from the 1st, 3rd, and 5th battle rounds, okay, you can either select another ability, and there's 6 to choose from, or you can roll 2 dice, and each of these Dread abilities, I'll just show you to the camera, has a kind of 1 to 6, basically.
Yeah.
All right, and you can either pick one or roll, the dice. Now, if you roll a double, then unfortunately the doubles are lost.
You're in the mercy of the Chaos Gods, I guess, aren't you, when it comes to actually getting your abilities? But it could mean that you could have all 7 abilities active if you're extremely lucky.
Well, potentially, yeah. You'd have to roll extremely well. And then also they last until the end of the battle. Okay, so imagine this: Deathly Terror, the aura triggers at the beginning, and then personally I would roll 2 dice at first turn. Maybe you roll a 1. It's called the Despair aura, which is while an enemy unit's within this model worsen the characteristic of 1. This is cumulative, so now everybody's -2. And then maybe I rolled a 2 as well, and that's called Doom. Each time the model makes an attack, if the target of that attack is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll. Okay.
Yes, and you'll find that Chaos Knights typically revolve around battle shocking your opponent, or eating their dread and their fear and despair, right? Which is the whole point in a lot of the mechanics you'll see in the Codex.
Now, the next one's called Darkness. This is if you roll a 3. Each time an attack is made against this model, if the attack is battle shocked or more than 18 away, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's very good. That's a great turn 1. When you're normally 18 inches away, essentially your whole army's got stealth because you'll be over 18. I think that's amazing. That's definitely... I'd even be tempted to pick that turn 1.
Yeah, if you're playing a heavy shooting army, you 100% want to pick that, right?
Yes, exactly that. Now... it does say, in addition, at the start of the first third, so you would know who's going first at this stage. Okay,
so that could maybe... How would that then change your decision on whether you roll or you pick? What's going through your mind if you know who's going first or second?
Well, if I'm the defender, and I know I'm more than 18 inches away, I'm going to want the Darkness. So I'd probably pick it if I was going second. If I was going first, I might go for something else. So let's see what else there is. Dismay, which is an aura. In the battle shock step of your opponent's command phase, for each enemy unit that is below starting strength and within 9, you must take a battle shock. So that's similar to the Index. And then Delirium, this is another aura. While an enemy unit is below half strength and is within 9, each time this unit fails a battle shock check, suffers D3 mortal wounds. Okay. And then Dominion is add 3 to the range of this abilities or the aura abilities. On first glance of all of this, I would actually just pick number 3 to begin with.
For the -1 to hit.
100%. I would personally just pick that because you need to get your enemy below starting strength. You need to start making them take battle shock checks. So to be quite honest, if I was a Chaos Knight player, this is my first instinct. I'd pick 3 and then I'd just roll 2 dice every single time then from then on.
Yeah.
And try and get as many overlapping buffs as I possibly could.
Now, obviously, when we come to data sheets, you'll see some of the data sheets might actually make you want to pick other ones because you have auras that do have some big impacts.
Yep.
And even forcing battle shock and things like that at certain minuses. But I do completely agree with you. The -1 to hit is definitely the standout one, especially first turn.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay, so then you've got Dread Blades. This is like a sub-army rule. If every model in your army has the Chaos keyword, you can include either 1 Titanic Chaos Knight model or up to 3 War Dog models from your faction, even if they have not the faction keyword you selected in the army setup. None of these can be your warlord and they cannot be given enhancements. So this is, I'm assuming, for allies.
Yeah, so if you're playing World Eaters, Chaos Space Marines, Emperor's Children, etc., you could take 3 little dogs or you could take the big one.
Yep. And then you've also got super heavy walkers. Okay, so each time and this will be a keyword that'll be on some of the data sheets, each time a model with ability makes a normal advance or fallback move, it can move through enemy models excluding Titanic. Okay, and also your own models too. And each section of the terrain that has 4 inches or less. When doing so, it can move through the engagement range, but cannot end it. And if it does go through a terrain feature more than that, you roll a d6. On a 1, you're battle shocked. So you've got a 1 in 6 chance of becoming battle shocked if you move through a larger piece of terrain.
Which could be impactful. If you roll that 1, then you could not be able to take an objective. It might impact maybe score on a card, etc. But I think the risk is worth it if it means you can get to a certain point of the board.
We're going to have a quick word from our first sponsor and then we'll be right back with the data sheets.
A great Warhammer game deserves great battlefield. And that's why at Vanguard Tactics, we've teamed up with Game Mat EU, the very best in Europe for high quality, hard-wearing game mats and pre-painted terrain. Their mats are built to last, with incredible designs that bring every game to life. Unbag, unroll, no matter the game system, they've got the right size for you. Whether you're gaming at home, competing at an event, their terrain is durable, modular, and designed for balance. No painting, no hassle, just set up and play. So if you want your table to look as epic as ours, then Game Mat EU is the way to go.
All right, Jord, the first one is the Knight Tyrant.
This is the big knight.
He's the biggest.
Daddy knight.
Yeah, it's movement 8, toughness 12, 28 wounds, 3 up save and a 5 up in run. Okay. Now, it's got some abilities. The first one is called Infernal Aegis. It's an aura, and while a war dog is within 6, it can have the benefit of cover.
Pretty good.
Now, if you were to pick the increase your aura by 3 inches from the dread abilities, now all the war dogs within 9 would get cover.
Yeah. Which is pretty impactful when you slap this guy in the middle of the board and just go, everything can stand in the open and I'm going to get cover.
Yeah. It's really, really nice. And then also enemy units that are in reinforcement can't set up within 12 of it. So you just can't deep strike down within 9.
Which is pretty the size of this guy's base is massive.
Yep.
So you're extending quite a big. You could cover your whole deployment zone on some maps with this model.
Yeah, exactly that. Now we're not going to go over too much on the weapons, okay? But you can basically take either the Volcano Lance and the Ectoplasm Disseminator, or you can have the other weapon option. But the abilities are still the same. Let
us know in the comments what war gear loadout you would give your Knight Tyrant.
Are you taking the harpoon?
Always take the harpoon.
Always take the harpoon. And the Dark Flame Cannon.
Oh,
I mean, it's good. It's 3d6 strength 8 -1/2 damage.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's scary.
Ooh, you don't like that at all.
I don't like fire.
All right, the next one is called the Knight Despoiler. Okay. Now, the Knight Despoiler, this one, while a friendly war dog is within 9, improve the war dog's leadership and objective control by 1. and it all has Seething Hatred. Each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll, or you can reroll 1 wound roll.
Now, the OC one's interesting. So if you've come from the index, the general changes that you'll see is toughness coming down on a lot of the knights, and the OC coming down on the knights as well. So like your war dog is typically toughness 9 with a OC characteristic of 6.
Still good 6, yeah.
Still good. But this means that you could then maybe get it to 7.
Sure. I think the biggest break point for me is always 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Because you can't just put 5 MSU
jump intercessors,
warp spiders on an objective and contest it. That's a problem. So I think just that you're at 6 is a good little break point. I think the next break point after that is probably 10, where it's normally relevant, because 6 is also much higher than most other vehicles in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's pretty good. Now, this, you basically get a Reaper chainsword, but you can swap that for a thermal cannon. You can also have a Gatling cannon. Yeah.
This guy can have pretty much everything, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah,
because
I think so. Yeah,
he's like your general sort of big knight that can take loadouts from anything, really.
Yeah, you've basically got the options of either a fist or a chainsword.
Yeah,
and then you can have the thermal cannon, the Gatling cannon, and the not the auto cannons, but the
battle cannon.
The battle cannon. Yeah.
And I think you might be able to take duplicates if I'm right on this guy.
Yep.
So yeah, but you're probably gonna be taking potentially this guy because of the range of weapons that you can take as well.
Yeah, your Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife, exactly.
All right, so then it's time for the Knight Abominant. Okay. Now, the Knight Abominant, he has a psychic ability at the start of the shooting phase. Select the enemy unit within 24 and visible, and they take a battle shot check.
Yep, so there we go. Start triggering the army rule, potentially.
Yep, especially if it's within like that aura range of some of those other maybe war dogs you've got nice and closer. And then Warp Storm at the end of the movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 9. On a 3+, they suffer d3 mortal wounds. So that is a massive splash effect. If you start to walk within, that's going to really impact armies like Eldar and those kind of MSU 1 wound models,
Yeah, any army as well with like leadership 7 with this army is going to really struggle when you have things like this that just start forcing battle shock at, but probably minimum leadership 8 now with the minuses that come into it, and then forcing mortals everywhere. Like you said, it's gonna be annoying to deal with.
The weird thing for here is the Volkite Combustor, because it's 0 AP, but it's strength 12 and flat damage 3. It is 12 shots though.
Okay, so it's like mass amount of shots.
Yep.
But you're going to be getting your AP, so
it's just on your armor save. But then, if you're shooting Custodes, you probably will roll some ones, especially if you've got 12 attacks. It is devastating wounds, so some will automatically punch through.
Deceivingly damaging.
It could be, could be pretty good. The Electro Surge as well with sustained hits, 9 attacks, strength 10, -2, flat 3 damage as well. So a lot of flat 3 damage on this guy.
Yeah.
That's his kind of general shtick, I would say. So elite infantry, he's going to be great into.
Absolutely.
All right, the Knight Ruinator.
The new one.
Yeah.
The brand new guy.
He's here. And also, while we're on the topic, in the box, what you get is a Knight Ruinator, and this also builds all the other different combinations you could possibly want. So it's a fantastic box, the Knight Ruinator.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
is. So thank you to Games Workshop for sending us one of those. So we've got the Knight Ruinator. Now, these are all toughness 11, all of these knights. 3 up, 5 up with 26 wounds. It's called the Dark Flame Lance, ignores covered torrent, 2d6 strength 8, -1, 2 damage. And it's also got some missiles, which you might not have noticed, but it's basically just under the sort of basic
like nipple guns.
Nipple guns. They're not to be sniffed at.
Never sniff them.
Never sniff them. 2d6 shots, strength 8, -2, 2 damage. So really, if you look at that, and this also blast, you've pretty much got 4d6 strength 8, AP 1 minimum, and then all damage 2 attacks. And then in combat with the Strikey's anti-monster, anti-vehicle.
Just you wait till you read his rule, mate.
And it's flat 6 damage, AP 3, the strength's really irrelevant, but 14. So you basically wound everything on the game in 2s that you're going to want to. And then it's also got a sweep attack as well, so it's pretty good. Right. At the start of the first battle round, select then one enemy unit from your opponent's army to be the model's victim. Oh my days. Each time this model makes an attack, it targets the victim. You can reroll the wound roll, and when the victim destroyed, you select a new victim.
You pick a new victim to feel your wrath.
That's good. How is he? We should do a tier list of knights.
Tier list of knights, yeah. He's going to be up there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's not many, from what I've read in the detachments who will come to them, getting full rerolls to wound is going to be amazing. And because it's combat and shooting, right?
Well, it may as well just say reroll a wound of a 1 because that's all you actually need.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It can't trigger devastating wounds because it doesn't have it, but it also has close range killers. This is the aura ability. While a friendly war dog is within 9 of this model, each time that war dog model makes an attack that targets the closest enemy unit, improve the armor penetration by 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, your carnivores are going to love this.
Now, here's the thing though. While a friendly war dog's within 9, each time this war dog makes an attack that targets the closest enemy unit. If the closest enemy unit is not eligible, you won't get it. Because it just says the closest enemy unit.
Yep.
So if there's like a unit hidden in terrain from your in between your war dog and its target, the unit you could be shooting could be the closest eligible, but that doesn't matter.
Also, it's AP and shooting as well.
It just says while a friendly model is within 9 inches each time that makes an attack.
Yeah, so
it would be shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is going to be shooting. So,
but you'd only work if the closest target is also the closest eligible target. So if there's another unit hidden, even like 2 inches away from you, no matter who you were shooting, if you couldn't see them, you're not going to get any extra AP.
Okay.
All right.
Reactive moves are going to impact this potentially.
Maybe, yeah. Or just a unit hidden in terrain.
Yeah.
Could stop it.
True.
That's closer. Anyway, so the Knight Desecrator's up next. This is the one with the crazy Las Destructor. Strength 18, -4, d6 plus 3 damage. Now that is an attack.
It gets better.
Okay, so each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets a monster or vehicle, it has devastating wounds.
So you get dev wounds on that profile.
The only thing is you've only got 3 shots.
Yeah, it's a luxury item, I guess.
You do hit on 2s though.
Do you hit on 2s?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That should be 3 hits. But then you are looking for, you got a 50-50 chance one of those is a 6.
Yeah.
Out of 3 dice is a 50-50. You either get a 6. I mean, dice don't exactly work like that, but there we go.
Yeah, it's a dice game, so you could roll 3 6s, you could roll none of them.
You ain't rolling 3 6s.
I'm not, no.
I'm definitely not. I'm not even rolling 1.
I have 3 6s against me.
Now, while a friendly war dog is within 9, each time it makes a ranged attack, though specifically mentions ranged, they get real hits of 1.
Okay.
So he's like your shooter buffer. Okay. Right, next up is the Knight Rampager. Okay.
He's a combat buffer.
He is. He moves 12, so he's faster than the rest. He also hits on 2s in combat rather than 3s. And this model makes a charge. It gets devastating wounds. All of its attacks as well have sustained built in, whether you've gone for strikes, sweeps, chainswords, or claws. And while a friendly war dog's within 9 of it, you reroll a melee of 1. So this is like the kind of opposite.
Combat buffer.
Yeah, they're kind of, think of those two. Desecrator, shooting buffer, Rampager, combat buffer.
Nice.
All right.
Yep.
All right, now we're into the War Dogs. All right, so War Dog, you got the Huntsman. The Huntsman typically hits on 3s, and it normally has 1 of each. It's got a a chain sword, and it's also then got the Demon Breath Melter Gun. All right, and also the Melter Spear.
Yep.
They look like they're pretty much unchanged, what you'd expect. Strength 12, AP 4d6 damage. Always shocks me on a Melter Gun, but there we go. And each time this model makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle, you can reroll the wound roll. That's good.
Pretty good.
That makes it, I think they had like, did they have Sticky before or something? I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what the Huntsman had. The ones I know the most are like Brigands, Carnivores. They've had some big changes.
All I remember is everybody used to take 1 Huntsman and he used to have Sticky. Maybe because it was an enhancement, but potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Right. War Dog Executioner. This is the autocannon variant. It's 4 attacks, but obviously you get 2, so it's 8 attacks, strength 9, AP 1, flat 3 damage. Each time this model makes an attack that targets a below strength unit, add 1 to the hit roll, and each time an enemy unit is destroyed as a result of this attack, before removing the last model in that unit within the battlefield, each model within your opponent army that within 3 of it must take a battle shock check.
It's you kill a model or kill a unit before removing the last model. Everyone within that aura then takes battle shock. So you could have a point where you're just triggering those battle shocks, potentially with your army rule as well. You could be doing mortals, potentially, other
I
abilities.
think the only bad thing about that is that if you were playing me and I had a unit strung out, I'd be like, well, this guy over here is not within 3 inches of anyone.
Yeah.
So that'll be the last model to die from the unit.
Yeah, so there's ways to play around it, isn't there?
Yeah.
But if it does go off, I mean, it's another way of triggering battle shock, which obviously built into the army rule.
I think in order for me to take this unit, I'd want to see some ignores cover. And whether that's an enhancement or an aura. Obviously, we've gone through the big knights, so none of those give you ignores cover.
Nope.
You could get the +1 AP if it's the closest target that you're shooting against, which when you've got a 48-inch range, it's not normally going to be the thing.
Yep.
But we'll see. I need a bit more. I need some ignores cover on that to make AP1 relevant.
Let's just wait till we get to some detachments, Steve.
Okay, War Dog Brigand. This is the one with the chain cannon and the melter gun, and basically each time it makes an attack that's within range of one or more objective marker, providing that the target is, then this gets ignores cover, which I would have preferred, if anything.
On the other one.
Yeah, I'd have actually preferred those the other way round.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because this guy, if I'm right, has the thermal spear and the Gatling cannon, right?
Yes.
So he has the two different profiles.
Yeah.
I mean, ignores cover on a melt is nice.
I think it's
the
needed,
Gatling, because it's AP0, the Gatling cannon.
It's AP1.
AP1.
But remember, you're normally going to go into the Gatling cannons great into things like, 5 Cabalite Warriors, when if they've got a 4-up save, cover or not, doesn't really make.
But going into a Custody with damage 3 weapons, which is its ideal target, AP1 with cover obviously is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, the interesting thing as well, before we move on from them, I believe all the weapon skill and bliss skill profiles have gone down, so they are now 3s, not 2s.
They're 3s, yeah.
Yeah,
they're all 3s. Now let's get into because the next up is the War Dog Stalker. This has got the Avenger Chain Cannon and also the Chain Talon.
Yep,
loves the chains. This one. Each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, if there's no other unit within 6 of that target, add 1 to the wound roll. That's good.
He's a stalker.
He gets those isolated targets, and he also scouts 6, I've just noticed. Having some scout in the War Dog army is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, next up is the Carnivore. You can re-roll advance and charge rolls made for this model, but it is weapon skill 3.
Yeah. So the weapon skills have changed. The profiles are very different if you come from the index.
Yeah, because the Reaper Chain Talon is 12 attacks, sustained hits, strength 8 minus 2, 1 damage. Or it's got the Slaughter Claw, which is sustained 1, which is 6 attacks.
Right.
Did it only have 4 attacks before?
I can double check.
I can't remember it having 6 attacks. Strength 12 minus 3, d6 plus 2. Now, the War Dog, if it takes a Chain Talon, you get to pick one of 2 abilities. You can either have, if you take the Chain Talon, 4 attack, strength 10, AP3, flurry damage. So there are some variations in weapons, but this guy can only take a claw and a Chain Talon, but they don't have a sweep and a strike. They've just got those profiles I read out.
So the Chain Talon currently has a sweep with 8 attacks, strength 8, AP2, 1 damage, but he has a strike at strength 10, AP3, 3 damage with 4 attacks. No sustained or anything, that's just the profiles.
So you're getting 6 attacks, sustained, strength 12 minus 3, d6 plus 2. So that, I think that's better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're not hitting on 2s, but
well, the Stalker hit on 3s, but if we go to the Carnivore, the Carnivore hits on 2s currently in the index version, and then the Brigand.
No, give me the Slaughter Claw.
Slaughter Claw hits on 2s, strength 6, AP 12, 3 minus 3, d6 plus 2.
How many attacks?
6.
Oh, so it is the same. Sustained hits?
The same. No sustained hits.
Okay, so you've lost the +1 to hit, but you are sustained. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, that's roughly the same.
Yeah. Roughly the same, yeah.
Because if you had 6 attacks, let's say you rolled each of the results, the 6 makes up for the 2, but obviously the 1 still misses anyway. Oh, one thing to note. War Dogs are no longer battle line.
Are they not?
Nope. So, nope, they're not battle line.
None of them are battle line.
No, none of them are battle line. Dum, dum, dum.
Dum.
But no fear. There are
Chaos
ways.
Knights are here.
Well, there we go. That's all the units.
That's the data sheets.
Yeah, now let's crack on with some detachments.
Let's do it.
See what these combos are. And before we do that, we'll have a quick word from our next sponsor.
It's my pleasure to announce that Army Painter have sponsored Vanguard Tactics. We've decided to collaborate with Army Painter because they've made the process of painting your models so simple. From their Fanatic range to help you identify your shadow, mid and light tones, to their wet palettes that make the application of paint so much smoother. The process has never been simpler. So if you're looking to upgrade your painting skills today and have the tools at your disposal to help that process, then check out the Army Painter.
Right, detachments.
Dreadlance.
This is like the index, right?
Traitors Lance.
Traitors Lance.
Right, okay, they're the Paragons of Terror. At the start of the first battle round, after you've selected one or more dread abilities to be your active for your army, you can select one addition one.
Sick.
That's good, because we want the extra 3 inches, and we want that shrouding darkness.
-1 to hit.
Yeah, want that. Yeah,
I
like
darkness.
That. Boom, straight in the basket. Right, okay, cool. So, enhancement time. Nightmare's Master. Chaos Knight model only. Damn it, can't give this to a warrior. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit within engagement range must take a battle shock check.
Yep.
It's okay. I mean, it's pretty good with all the minuses you could potentially get and all the mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Probably more relevant than this. In fact, normally I just write that sort of detachment off.
Yeah.
But it could be good in this detachment, actually.
Could be really good.
Right, Chaos Knight model only, mate. At the end of your command phase, select one objective marker that you control, and basically you get sticky.
Great.
Cool.
Yep.
And there's some other thing about the dread ability, but you get sticky objectives.
Basically, the objective brings out the dread ability.
Cool. All right, Malevolent Heraldry. Each time you roll a dice to randomly select it, you can re-roll one or both. That's good. Yeah.
Stick that straight in my basket.
That's going straight in. Right, okay, Chaos Knight Molo. The bearer has a 4+ invulnerable save against ranged attack and a 5+ against invulnerable saves. All 4 of them are bangers.
Yep. Who'd you pick?
I don't know.
Invul has to go in, right?
I think so, yeah.
Sticky objectives is great.
Yes.
And then probably the rerolls.
Probably. Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
Enhancement time.
Stratagem time. You lot will be real cool here.
Yeah, I was like, cool, let's get
No, I just get it wrong.
Yeah, cool. Stratagem time.
Patera Shades.
Terror Shades.
Huh?
Terror Shades.
It's got a P in front of it.
Yeah, I know. It's
Typo.
No, it's not a typo. It's a silent P.
There's definitely a typo.
No, it's a silent P.
No, it's a typo.
Patera Shades.
Patera Shades. Peter and his shades.
Peter and his shades.
From somebody that's dyslexic, I look at that and go Peter Shades.
Peter Shades.
Peter or Shades, actually.
Peter Shady.
Yeah, because if you just put an E in between the P and the T, you've got Peter or Shades.
All right, there we go. So you're going to call this stratagem from now on Peter Shades. I'm going to play Peter Shades, 1CP. What's Peter doing?
Well, Pete, he's any phase just after your opponent fails a battle shock check. 1 Chaos Knight within 12, roll 6d6. For every 4+, you take a mortal wound. And you regain wounds. It's a very, very strong stratagem. Peter Shades.
Peter Shades sucking the life out of you.
Okay, Conquerors Without Mercy. In the fight phase, 1 Chaos Knight model of your army that has made a charge move. Basically, until the end of phase, improve the armor penetration by 1 in combat. And after you've finished, if it's destroyed one or more units, then things have to take a battle shock check. So basically, +1 AP in combat.
You could stack that with the new guy, the Ruinator.
Yeah.
Get 2 AP.
You could, yeah. You could, actually.
Plus 2 AP in combat.
That's pretty good. Right, fight phase, just after enemy unit selected its targets, 1 Chaos Knight unit from your army that will select the target of one of the attacks. You get 6 up, feel no pain.
Yep.
And 5 up if the enemy unit's battle shocked.
Get those battle shocks in, baby.
Yeah, this is a battle shock detachment.
Yeah.
Right, a long leash, your command phase, your command phase, 1 abhorrent unit from your army. I shouldn't be the reader, should I? Set up with 2 friendly war dogs until the start of the next command phase. Those war dog units are treated as within range of the aura of the aberrant. What abhorrent?
So abhorrent is the big knights.
Yes, I know that.
So
I
that's
just
the
can't
keyword.
say his name.
Yeah, well, it's all the big knights. It's not the abominant. It's a keyword on all the big knights.
Oh, wow.
So any of your aura abilities that you have on your big knights, you can just give to war dogs that are obviously outside of your range. So you can just pass out your abilities for a CP.
That's mad good.
Yep.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Isn't it?
Oh, my long leash.
Oh, my long leash.
Wow.
12-meter long. Probably need more than 12 meters.
Yeah, it's Battlefield, so you don't even care. In Porous Advance, your movement phase or the charge phase, select up to 2 War Dogs or 1 Titanic. You can basically move through walls.
Yep.
Cool. That's pretty good.
Yep.
What's not to like about that? That's great. And then Storm of Darkness, your opponent's shooting phase, 1 Chaos Knight, blah, blah, blah. Until the end of a phase, models have the stealth ability, and each time an attack that targets unit, you have the benefit of cover as well. I mean, if you don't want to take the big guy, it's nice.
Means you don't have to take the army rule, potentially.
Yeah, the -1 to hit.
Yeah.
I think that's so good, though, the -1 to hit, because this is only going to affect 1 knight.
It is, yeah.
Well, that's going to affect
it
your
depends
whole
on
army.
the terrain layout as well, doesn't it? On whether or not like it's open enough.
Maybe you've got a big knight, and maybe they're closer to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not bad, though.
No, it's not bad. I think overall that detachment, obviously we're building into Battle Shock, which is difficult because obviously your opponent gets a chance to still avoid any of these abilities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does have some devastating effects.
All right. So the next attachment, I'm going to let you read it.
Okay, Steve, are you ready for the Infernal Lance?
Ready for it.
Okay, so we've got a detachment rule called Malefic Surge. Now, in your command phase, you can select 1 or more Chaos Knights from your army, and they can make a Malefic Surge. Each time that you do that, you take a leadership. If you fail, you suffer D3 mortals. Then, until the start of your next command phase, that unit's empowered. And while a unit is empowered, it can use one of the abilities below. And once you've used that ability, you're no longer empowered. So it's like a once per turn sort of ability that you can use.
Okay. Do you have to take your Battle Shock check?
So you have to take your leadership check, yeah. So you always have to take the leadership check when you empower these units when you want to do this.
And if you fail it, you can't do it?
If you fail it, you still can do it.
Right.
You just take mortal wounds.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So you can do either one of the following. Unholy Hunger. So when a model in this unit makes a normal advance or fallback move, until the end of the phase, you get +3 to the move characteristic.
Wow.
Yep. It gets better. Diabolic Power. When this unit is selected to shoot or fight, select either the lethal hits or sustained hits 1 ability, and until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by the model have the selected ability.
Right.
And then the next one, which is probably the best one, Unnatural Fortitude. So when you're selected as a target of attack, until the end of the phase, you get a 5-up invul and Feel No Pain 6+.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So you, obviously, once you've declared you're using the ability, you then obviously don't get to pick another one until your next command phase.
Can you check if War Dog's getting a runnable save?
They do.
Of a 5+?
5-up, but against ranged attacks only. So this means you'll get it in combat.
Ah, okay. So I was thinking, why would I need a 5-up invuln?
Yeah, so you're going to get, all of your knights have a 5-up, but you'll get this in combat as well because they're all against ranged attacks. I'll even check the big ones. Yeah, it says ranged attack only.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
The 6-up Feel No Pain is just amazing on a model with 26 wounds.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this right. You can empower yourself every turn?
So you do it in your command phase. You
Yes.
select 1 or more Chaos Knights from your army. So you could select your whole army, effectively, because it's 1 or more. And then each time you do the Malefic Surge ability, you take a leadership check, and then that's how it works.
Got it. But then once you've used it, you've done it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Cool. Enhancements.
Yes.
Knight Diabolos.
Sure, what is it?
It's not. Chaos Knights model, improve the weapon skill of the bearer's melee weapons by 1. And if you've used your Diabolic Power ability, you get Lance.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
So you can have like Sustain and Lance.
Yep.
That's a great little combo.
Yep, absolutely. Blasphemous Engine. Chaos Knights model only. Add 2 to the bearer's wounds characteristic, and each time you make a Malefic Surge, you can re-roll the leadership test to see if you take mortal wounds.
Okay.
Flesh Metal Fusion. So you get +1 toughness. And whilst the bearer is using the Unnatural Fortitude ability, which is the 6-up Feel No Pain ability, you can, if a damage characteristic of 1 attack is allocated to you, you get +1 save.
So Armor Contempt.
Armor Contempt against damage 1 weapon, so.
Yeah, sure. You know this whole army rule, detachment rule? Is it, do you get to pick per night which one they get?
So it says, while a unit is empowered, it can use 1 of the Malefic Surge abilities below. So once that unit has used its Malefic Surge ability, it's no longer empowered. So it says, while a unit is empowered, it can use 1 of the things. So you do it by unit basis.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can choose which one you're using.
So it's not like a doctrine where it affects your whole army. You get to pick at that moment when you want to use it.
Yep.
You'd basically need tokens.
Yep.
Empowered tokens.
Empowered tokens.
And then you go, right, it's time for me to empower. No. Huzzah! Judo chop.
Oh, I took mortal wounds. Oh.
Yeah. No, you took that earlier.
Oh, yeah. True.
It's like sustained or lethal.
Yeah.
Plus the move.
We've got one more though.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, as bestial aspect. So the bearer's ranged weapons have the assault ability. And whilst the bearer's using the unholy hunger, so the +3 move, it can ignore any or all modifiers to its move characteristics and to advance rolls made for the unit.
But no advance in charge.
No advance in charge, no.
Because that could have been spicy on Mr. Combat Guy, because you'd go 15 and then be able to advance in charge.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's good to get a knight around a little bit quicker. Yeah. 13-inch moving knight, basically, with assault, so then you could advance and shoot. So it just opens up your threat ranges a little bit more.
Yeah.
And obviously this is on the big knights, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Chaos Knights model only, and they're the only characters that in this book. You don't have any war dogs that are characters. There's a detachment for it.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
So stratagems, profane symbiosis.
All right.
So end of any phase, 1 CP, a Chaos Knight that is not empowered, you can make a malefic surge. But you cannot select the same unit as the target of this stratagem more than once per battle round. Okay. So you can just pick one of the abilities and give your guys one of those abilities.
Spontaneous extra. Yeah.
But you do have to take the leadership of the mortals still.
Of course, yeah, of course. Of course.
You don't get to go without taking the mortals.
Well, a leadership check.
Or leadership, yeah. So yeah, pretty good. Then we got 1 CP, Hellforged Construction.
Can you imagine? It's gonna be like the new thing. Like you go to a tournament and you hear some guy in the corner and they're warring. Yeah. Right, and then you got a Chaos Knight player over there like
empowered.
1 CP, empower. And we're like, oh my god.
I play profane symbiosis.
And then another person's like, so I'm gonna use Peter Shades.
Peter Shades. You got to have sunglasses though when you use it. These are my Peter Shades, so I'm playing Peter Shades style. Anyway, you still got more to go through. 1 CP, Hellforged Construction. In the fight phase, just after an enemy selected its targets, basically you can get Armor of Contempt in combat.
Cool. Like it.
For 1 CP. Corrupting Taint, 1 CP. In your command phase, just after a Chaos Knights character unit from your army makes a malefic surge. Select one objective marker that's within range and that you control. You get sticky objectives. In your command phase.
All right, nice. Cool.
Pretty good.
Keep that objective, nice.
1 CP, Unleash Balefire. Your shooting phase, 1 Chaos Knights unit that's not been selected to shoot. After your unit's just shot, select one or more, or one enemy unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. They must take a battle shock. If the test is failed until the end of your opponent's next turn, they are aflame, which means you have to subtract 2 from their move and 2 from their charge rolls.
All right, okay, cool.
1 CP, Warp Vision, Peter Shades. Your shooting phase, 1 Chaos Knights unit from your army has not been selected to shoot. You get Ignore's cover.
Nice.
And then 1 CP, Diabolic or Bulwark for in your opponent's shooting phase. 1 Chaos Knights unit from your army that's been selected to target those attacks. You get 4 up invul.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I think on the whole there, 4 up invul against shooting is amazing.
Ignore's cover. You get down your armigers with the cannons.
Yes, nice. I think that sounds like a good detachment, you know?
Absolutely. Lords of Dread.
All right.
This one's nuts.
So what does the Lord of Dreads do?
We've got 6 enhancements in this detachment for some wacky reason, right?
Right.
But we've got Tyrannical Court. So improve the objective control characteristics of Chaos Knight characters models in your army by 2. And in addition, once per battle round, if your warlord's on a battlefield, you can use the claimed for the Dark God stratagem for 0 CP. Now I'm going to go to that first, and then we'll come back to the enhancements.
So sorry, just quickly recap. What do you get?
You get +2 OC on your characters, your Chaos Knight characters.
Yeah.
And then if your warlord's on a battlefield, you can use this stratagem I'm about to read out for 0 CP.
What, every battle round?
Once per battle round, yeah.
Cool. What is it?
So basically, when a Chaos Knights character's within range of an objective marker, you sticky it. However, it's always classed as having a control characteristic of 5 on the objective, even if you leave it.
Cool.
So your opponent has to put more than 5 on it to take it.
So 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty good for 0 CP.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah.
Right.
I think this is the big knight detachment, isn't it?
It's a character detachment, absolutely.
So you've just taken the big lads?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Question. We have 6 enhancements here to pick from.
Yep.
Is the rule of 3 still up? Can you take more than 3?
It doesn't say you can't. Well, it doesn't say anything about what you can take here. It's just given us 6 stratagems. So I assume
6 enhancements.
6 enhancements. Sorry, I assume that the rule of 3 still counts.
Yeah, you just get 6 to choose from.
You just get 6 to choose from.
That's quite weird.
Yeah, it's very random because it's not the same on the other one either. This is the first detachment in the game we've seen with this.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the little text there anyway.
No. So it's just talking about the stratagem.
Maybe they've given you 6 because each one needs to be different for all the big knights you could possibly take. So what's the first one again?
So the first one is you can reroll charge rolls, and once per battle, your bearer can advance and charge.
All right, so you put that on your combat knight.
Yeah, your rampagers definitely.
Right, so that just goes straight on him. Cool.
Yep.
That you also take that.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
You don't even. Yeah, cool. That's one of our 3.
It's in contention for the next one.
All right.
Blade of Celerity, so you get assault for your ranged weapons, but once per battle, the bearer can use the enhancement, and you get fight first.
No. Still the other one better.
You want advance and charge?
100%.
Yeah.
It's not bad, fights first once per game, and assault is good, but 100% rampager goes in the list with advance and charge.
Because it moves 12 as well, doesn't it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Warpborn Stalker, so you gain deep strike on the Chaos Knight.
Okay.
And in addition, once per battle, at the end of the turn, you can take him off the board and put it into strat reserves.
That goes in the list.
Yeah.
You could rapid ingress it. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's good.
Putrid Carapace, so you get a 2+ armor save.
Yeah.
And then in addition, once per battle in either player at the start of either player's command phase, you can use the enhancement and you can regain D6 lost wounds.
That's okay. That's good. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. 2 up,
5
nice.
up involved. Yeah. And then Mirror of Fates. So once per battle round, the target can use the command reroll stratagem for 0 CP, even if someone else has already done it.
Okay.
In addition, once per battle. Oh yeah, this one you have to take. In addition, once per battle, just after your opponent uses a stratagem, if the bearer is on the battlefield, your opponent, that stratagem that they played now costs 1 CP more for the entirety of the battle.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's like a vector for...
A vect for the whole game, but there's no aura for it.
Is it any stratagems that it doesn't work on?
It can use its answer until the battle. The CP cost for your opponent must pay to use a stratagem again is increased by 1 CP.
It doesn't exclude any?
Doesn't exclude
so
any.
You could make the regular command point reroll cost 2 CPs in the rest of the game?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, really good.
That's good.
Yeah, Mirror of Fates is definitely horrible. Blessings of the Dark Master. So you gain stealth on your Chaos Knight, and you can once per battle change the damage characteristic of an attack that's gone to you for a failed save to 0.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2+ save is nice, and the regaining wounds, so's this one is nice. But for me, the game-changing ones are the Rampager with advanced charge, because that means your opponent has to overly respect your threat range. Uppy, downy, and potential rapid ingress on a knight also keeps your opponent extremely honest to make sure they have to screen out their backfield against you.
Yep.
And also, being able to vect a very important stratagem is massive. So for me, they are the 3 game state changing abilities, whereas the others are just very nice, consistent plays.
Yeah, I think the Ruinator with the uppy downy, because you get to pick your victim, so you can constantly, once you kill something, you can take it off and then go and find another target, get your rerolls and try and work your opponent's tougher units and do it that way. Right, we've got stratagems. We've already gone through the claimed for the gods stratagem for the controlling an objective. Then we've got Spiteful Demise for 1 CP. Chaos Knights character that's just been destroyed, you basically get Deadly Demise on a 4+.
Cool.
Runes of Disdain, so 2 CP, your opponent's shooting or fight phase. You select 1 Chaos Knights character that was a target of that, and you get -1 damage.
Very good.
In shooting or fight phase for 2 CP.
That's strong, yeah.
Titanic Duel, 1 CP, so shooting or fight phase, Chaos Knight character. After you've been selected to shoot, you select 1 enemy monster or vehicle, and you can reroll hit roll of 1 and wound rolls of 1. And each time you if the unit you're targeting is a Titanic unit, you get full rerolls.
Okay, cool.
So against big knights, you're going to get full rerolls for 1 CP.
All right.
Then 1 CP Trophy Hunter.
So that last one, when do you use it, sorry?
Your shooting phase or fight phase, and 1 Chaos Knight character unit from your army that's not been selected to shoot or fight.
Wow. Yeah, so I've got to kill that knight. Full rerolls.
Get the full rerolls.
To hit and wound.
Yeah, so the Rampager gets devastating wounds. So you can reroll all your wounds against these big Chaos Knights.
All the aberrant thing.
Or the abominant, yeah.
Whatever it is called,
Massive big aberrant.
Yeah. Muscle Beach is back.
Muscle Beach is back, baby. 1 CP Trophy Hunter, fight phase just before a Chaos Knights character consolidates. Until the end of the phase, each time you make a consolidation move, it can move an additional 3. But you must move, end that move within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units.
Okay.
Then we got Crushed Like Vermin, 1 CP. Just after a Chaos Knights character from your army ends a normal move, you select 1 enemy unit that your unit moved over and roll 6 dice, and on a 4+, they take mortal wounds. And if you destroy any models, they take a battle shock.
Okay, cool. That's nice. You know the one that you can do for free all the time?
Yes.
When do you do that movement or command phase?
Start of any phase.
You can sticky an objective the start of any phase?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's not just sticky. It's actually the best version of sticky in the game. Because you're keeping control on it.
Yeah, because what that means is you could make a charge move. Now you control it. That's start the fight phase. 1 CP, or there's no CPs. Sticky that objective.
Yeah, and then you could uppy downy with your unit potentially come off the board, and it's got control 5 on.
Yeah.
So now your opponent has to put an asset on that's got 6 OC to take the objective.
So basically you could have a knight on an objective with uppy downy, and then in your turn, mate, at the start of your combat phase, if I'm still alive, I'll just go, cool, 0 CP, sticky it, boom, straight up in the air, gone.
It's a bit silly, I think.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think the control 5 is... Because some armies, it's like if you play Space Marines, you have to put something tangible on that objective, and then you got to lose an asset. To tangible was my big word of the day. Tangible. Don't even know if I used it in the right sentence.
I don't think you did.
Tangerine is the other word.
You could have gone with tangerine.
Tambourine, that's another one. All the tams. So basically, that's this detachment.
It's been a long week of making Warhammer 40k content, and this is where we're at. Guys, you need tangible things, okay?
You need tambourines, tangerines, and tangibles. The triple T's. Right, anyway, that is the Laws of Dread. Extremely strong detachment, but we have one more.
Oh, I'm seeing the tangibles, all right?
This detachment's all about the tangibles. The Houndpack Lance. So we got this is your War Dog detachment. So Marked Prey. At the start of your command phase, you select 1 unit from your opponent's army, and until the start of your next command phase, each time a War Dog model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, as long as they're visible, you get sustained hits.
Right, so O for moment, but sustained hits equivalent.
Sustained hits O for moment.
And then what's the other stuff on this?
So basically, War Dogs, you must include 3 or more War Dog units.
Yeah.
War Dogs gain battle line.
Yeah.
And when mustering your army, select 3 War Dog units from your army, and until the end of the battle, they become characters.
Cool.
So you have to have 3 characters in your army if you take this, and they have to be War Dogs.
Okay.
And then designers note this means that these selected units can be given enhancements, and one of them can be selected as your Warlord.
And you can still take a big one, though, can't you?
You could still take a big one.
Because obviously they buff your War Dogs.
Yep, absolutely. Right. Enhancements, we've got Prey Slayer's Mantle. They become a super heavy walker. So a War Dog does. He's big.
So he can move through terrain.
He's buff.
He's a big lad.
He's buff.
Yeah.
He's chunky. Then we've got Final Howlers and Aura. So War Dog model only, while a friendly War Dog model is within 6. Each time the model makes an attack, you can reroll wound rolls for 1.
Good. Nice.
We got Loping Predator. The War Dog, again, you get assault on your ranged weapons for the bearer.
Nice, yeah.
Panoply of the Cursed Knights.
Okay.
So Penelope. Each time an attack targets the bearer, worse than the AP by 1 for the War Dog.
Okay, so Armor Contempt.
Armor Contempt always. It's pretty good. That's the enhancements.
Pretty good, actually. Yeah. On the whole, pretty good.
Yep, absolutely. Then we're going to go on to the stratagems. We've got Vox Howl, so 2 CP start the shooting phase or the start of the fight phase. You select 1 War Dog's character from your army, and each enemy unit within 6 must take a battle shock. And each friendly War Dog within 6 of your unit and its battle shock must take a leadership. If the test is passed, they're no longer battle shocked. Okay, you can use this stratagem once per turn.
Okay.
It's a non-battle shock mechanic, which is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
2 CP is a bit expensive.
Yeah, if that was 1, I'd be a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
1 CP, hungry for combat. Start the fight phase. 2 or more War Dogs from your army that within engagement range of the same enemy unit. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of those War Dogs, and until the end of the phase, models in those War Dogs can only target that enemy unit, but each time they do, they get crits on 5s.
Okay, so this would be really good on the carnivores because they'd get sustained and crits on 5s with their 6 attacks.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah, and if you add the rampage, you get to reroll hits of 1 as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
So you get some rerolls going on. Cool. Then we've got Cunning Hunter for 1 CP. Your movement phase, just after a War Dog unit falls back, you can declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Shoot and declare a charge, sorry.
Okay, so
fall back, shoot, and do what you want.
Cool.
Animalistic Rage, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after a War Dog has been destroyed. Before resolving your unit's deadly demise, it can either shoot or fight. When doing so, it must target only the enemy unit that destroyed it, and it can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. After you've done so, you continue to do your deadly demise as normal.
Okay.
So, pretty good.
Yep.
1 CP, Harrying Hounds. Your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move. The 1 War Dog unit from your army is within 9 of the enemy unit. You can make a normal move of 6. So react to move of 6 for 1 CP. For a War Dog.
Yeah.
And then 1 CP Encircling Pack. It looks like you can take a War Dog. At the end of your opponent's fight phase, you can take a War Dog off the board and put them in strat reserves if they're wholly within 12 of a battlefield edge.
Okay, so off the Oni.
Yeah, not within engagement range of enemy units.
Nice.
That's the detachment.
Yeah, pretty good, I think. I mean, let's review this. What detachment's best?
Now, I think there's 2 contenders.
All right.
So I think...
Because let's just keep in consideration that the most optimal way to play Chaos Knights right now, as per pre-Codex, is as many armages as you possibly can.
Yeah, big knights I've never seen.
No, you never see them. So the question is, are big knights more viable? It will depend on their points. And obviously the strat interplay. Because your auras of all the dread abilities are spread so much more over 12, whatever is 11 to 13 armigers, however many you get now. It's spread so much more when you've got 13 models on the table compared to maybe 5. Out of the 4 there, which will we most impressed by?
I think the one I'm most impressed by is probably Lords of Dread.
It seems to have the most game-changing abilities. However, I've always found playing against the bigger knights easier than playing against the smaller knights.
Do you think, though, to counter that the armature changes to stat lines with them only being toughness 9 now?
No, I don't think that's relevant.
You don't think that's relevant?
Not really. Most of the weapons that I normally play with are strength 7 for Custodes. When I was playing Sisters, a lot of Melter strength 8, 9. Strength 9, isn't it?
Strength 9 for Melters, usually.
So I'm winning on 4s, not 5s. It's good.
The big knights coming down to toughness 11. Obviously, we weren't seeing them.
We weren't seeing them anyway, were we?
No. But
like las cannons, if you've got las cannons, you're on it. Because I pretty much play just Imperium armies, really, for the most part. So all of the combat-y weapons, like your... I mean, strength 5 now going into toughness 9 means you're winning on 5s, not 6s.
Yeah.
That's relevant. So maybe it is going to be easier, but I don't know.
I think it'll be easier. It's also easier to take objectives.
Yes.
Obviously...
what were they before? 8?
They were 8 before.
No, I don't think that's that relevant.
Okay.
Because I think 6 is still over a 5 model unit. It's not like you're taking units of 8, is it? Or 6s.
And I guess if you got OC2 with 5 models...
Yeah, you got it anyway.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We'd have to see. I think that's one we'd have to see whether or not... I think the thing with Chaos Knights I found as a combat player anyway is if I'm going to put OC onto an objective, I'm usually trying to kill the target on the objective.
Yeah, exactly.
And going to hopefully pick up that target so it doesn't really come up.
You can't leave it aligned because it will hit back harder and kill your whole unit.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So...
I guess the other detachment is Infernal Lance, where you get to do your surge, your malefic surges, because we got some fantastic stratagems in here. But the durability and also the flexibility with damage and movement,
that detachment,
it's terrifying.
It is.
If I see someone do that to me, I'm gonna
the Johnny Bravo detachment.
Yes, it's the Johnny Bravo of Chaos Knights. Someone better mold the hair on top of a Chaos Knight. But
damn good looking.
Damn so good looking. Damn, I'm pretty. But yeah, it's I think everything in this detachment's great. Yeah. But these 2 detachments in general, Lords of Dread and Infernal Lance.
But let's not disregard the first one.
No.
The Traitors Lance.
It's good.
we went through that and everything was pretty good there.
Yeah.
Peter Shades.
That's what's drawn you to it, to be fair. Peter Shades.
You know, it's got a good enhancement, hasn't it, for the 4+ Invan? Is that one?
Yeah, 4+ against ranged and 5 against melee.
It's good. So I think there's a lot to dive in here. I'm really looking forward to doing the masterclass, sitting down, you know, going to the extensive work that we do for them, the how to plays, where we really dive into the strengths and weaknesses. You know, we get some reps in as well to see what we feel like works, you know, so we can do the legwork before. You know, you guys don't have to, basically.
Yeah.
And it will just give you a really good starting point for the army. So if you do want to grab the masterclass, especially while it's on pre-order, if you do get it while it's on pre-order, of course, as soon as it becomes released, then you'll get that immediately. And any updates that we choose to do to it, you also get those as well. So if you do want to get the masterclass, subscribe, and the link will be below for that course. And we normally give you a little discount in the pre-order stage as well, because we appreciate the fact that you've you know, gone for the pre-order. Then you'd have to wait a little bit of time to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we may not be the most experienced Chaos Knights players, but we
will do our research.
We'll do our research, and we'll make sure that we know the combinations in here.
Yep.
Obviously, the comments below is where we'll be able to get some more information and helping everyone else get into the faction or understand how this codex will work.
And that's exactly what it's all about. And we're also going to go into all the ways that we found to play against the Chaos Knights as well. So maybe you're thinking, oh, my friend keeps playing Chaos Knights. Get the How to Play Masterclass series, and then obviously we'll go over how to combat it, basically. Give you those, you know, things that you should ask your opponent at the start. Hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Have you gone for that? You have this, you don't have that, blah, 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 blah. So that way you can actually play and feel really confident with the game. But finally, a massive, massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending us preview copy. We can't wait to get some battle reports on the channel with them. We've got loads to try out. I think we need to try out all the different detachments. And definitely playing that one. That'll get well annoying on stream.
Yeah.
And if I'm playing the Peter Shades detachment, I'm playing the whole one in Shades.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Love it.
Sweet. Well, Games Workshop, thank you so much. And thank you back home for tuning in, checking out these reviews, because it really means a lot to us. So make sure you do subscribe, leave a comment of what is your favourite detachment out of what the 4 that we've gone over. And then also, if you want to, become a member, where we do loads of extra content for you, of course, and we've got that masterclass series as well.
And we will go over the Grotbus detachment as well in the masterclass, so that we will go over everything, and obviously when points come available and stuff, that will help make informed decisions too. So let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But with that,
thank you
see you
so
in the next
much.
video.
Take care.